to join us for this webinar. We saw it fit to, in commemoration of the National Youth Day, to help the youth understand what it means to invest through a stock exchange. And we're going to explore the investment options that the VFX has to offer, and also the platforms that you can use to start your investment journey. So probably have a few housekeeping rules before we start. Please make sure that your audios and videos are always disabled at all times to avoid distractions during the presentations. So with this webinar, we are going to have 3 presentations from 3 different presenters who have expertise in different fields. And during their presentations, if you have any questions, please feel free to post those in the chat box, and we will unpack the questions at the very end of all 3 presentations. So without wasting much of your time, we will start with our first presenter. His name is Talent Chataika, and he is a trader at Linton Edwards, and also a member of the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange and the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. So over to you, Talent.
Good morning, Marjorie. Just confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. We're just going to be talking a little bit about investing on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange, as well as in part the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. So without taking up much time on that intro, I'm just going to try and share my presentation so that you can see it as I go. Maybe Marjorie, if you can confirm if you can see it. I'm not sure what you guys can see or what you can't see, but are you getting anything yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. And now?
Yes, we can see the presentation now.
Okay. So as titled, it's just a quick guide to investing on the ZSC and VFX, our local stock exchanges. So I'm going to start by discussing why you would want to invest, what the benefits of investing are for, but ultimately, investment objectives, investment goals will boil down to the individual. But these are just a few reasons that I can think of why it would be beneficial to folks to invest. So number one, investing is an effective way to put your money to work and potentially build wealth. This involves putting your money regularly, even small amounts of money, into assets that have potential to increase value over time, and therefore increasing your own wealth. So you can actually build a bit of wealth by investing periodically, regularly, even small amounts of money, but just growing your wealth. I shall be touching on the asset options you can invest in later in the conversation. The second reason why you might want to invest is that investing can provide you with regular income, such as dividends, interest, capital gains, and or rentals, which can be a great addition to your pocket and will greatly ease the burden on your savings. So you don't always have to be spending money that you could potentially be saving. You can actually also be earning regular income that flows from your investments. The third reason why it would be beneficial to invest is retirement planning. As you commence your working life or approach the end of your career, planning for your retirement can ensure that you are comfortable as you get older. Given the volatility of our economy, in fact, the volatility of the world economy, not just specifically ours. Anything can, can go wrong in any economy. So traditional pension plans may not be enough to provide a comfortable living, or for some to even cover basic expenses in retirement. Um, so that means when you're no longer working, and no money is coming in from employment anymore, or when you're no longer hustling or whatever it is that you were up to, that was making you money, uh, there's obviously like a cutoff of that inflow. So if you had invested over the years, it can be a great cushion from the harsh realities of retirement. Um, so if you have carefully curated your investment portfolio, it can help you a great deal in your retirement years where you're no longer economically active. Then the fourth reason why investment is beneficial is diversification. Investing allows you to put your money in a wide range of asset classes, and in the event of one asset option underperforming, others could potentially compensate. Uh, this provides a safety net against potential setbacks in the future. Uh, and anything can happen is during the course of your working life, whatever it is that you do that earns you money. You might lose your job, your house will go sideways, or maybe it's going through a difficult period. Um, if you are invested, if you have assets that you have invested in, they can also they can also help to pick you up during those times, or just help you weather those storms. And then inheritance for your dependents is the fifth point. Investing can also put you in a position where you have something to leave for your children, your grandchildren, and your other loved ones. This means that you can rest easy knowing that your family will remain financially stable long after you're gone. So if you have been, investing in assets during your economically viable years, if anything, God forbid, happens to you, you know, at least your family, your kids, your grandkids, whoever it is that you take care of that is dependent on you, can actually live off the assets that you would have invested in during your economically viable years. Um, these are obviously some, but not all of the benefits of investing, as ultimately investment goals and objectives, like I said, boil down to the individual and their respective circumstances. We move on the conversation to who can invest. Um, since our discussion is primarily about the exchange is open to both foreign and local investors, individuals and institutions alike. So foreign local investors can invest, individuals, institutions can also invest. So companies can invest, you in your individual capacity can invest as well. Um, we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can go about it in the final part of this of my segment. Where can you invest? In Zimbabwe, we currently have two stock exchanges. That is the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange and the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. The primary difference between these two exchanges is that the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange trades exclusively in the local currency, the Zimbabwe gold, while the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange trades in United States dollars. Um, the other difference, obviously, is the companies that are listed on both stock exchanges. So you have different companies that are listed on both on each stock exchange. I can't really, for the sake of time, I can't get into exactly which companies are listed on each, but I shall touch a little bit on that later. But all of this information is available. You can get it from, if you have a broker or if you'd like to get in touch we can provide that information to you. It's available on the ZSE and the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange websites. So yeah. What could you invest in today? Today, if you decided that you wanted to put your money into, you wanted to invest your money, you wanted to put your money to work, what could you invest in? As I mentioned in the previous slide, we have 2 stock exchanges in Zimbabwe, which offer exciting investment opportunities in a variety of products. That is shares or stocks, exchange traded funds, real estate investment trusts, contracts for differences, uh, exchange traded notes, depository receipts, fixed income instruments such as bonds, and commodities. I shall talk about shares, exchange traded funds, and real estate investment trusts, because these are the more commonly traded asset options on our stock exchanges. CFDs as well, but these will be handled later by another speaker in another part of the conversation. So stocks. What are stocks? Stocks are shares, and by definition are a unit of ownership in a company. I shall be using the word stock and share interchangeably. So a stock
Hello, Talent. Talent, we lost you for a
lost me?
moment.
Oh, you lost me. Sorry. Where did you lose me? My connection keeps getting interrupted. But where did you lose me?
You can start explaining on stocks.
On stocks. Okay, that's okay.
Yes.
All right. So I was saying, I shall be using the word stock and share interchangeably. These are by definition a unit of ownership in a company. When you own a share in a company, it means you're a part owner of that company, and you hold a fractional interest in the company's earnings and voting power. When the company makes some money, you have a fractional interest in that, and you can also vote on key decisions pertaining to operations or the direction the company want, or even a new direction that the company might want to go in. To just name a few examples. But how does one make money from shares? There are 2 main ways. You can enjoy capital gains. This is when you make a profit from selling the stock at a higher price than you bought it. Let's say you bought you bought a share in company XYZ today at 10 cents per share. In about 3 or 4 months, or even in a year, company's XYZ stock is now trading at 30 cents per share. That means you've made 20 cents per share. So if you have a lot of shares, that can be a lot of money, and a lot of people actually make money in this way, capital gains. So at that point where the share price is appreciated, you can decide to keep holding in anticipation of future gains, or you can actually sell, cash out, get your money, and maybe buy into something else, or wait for the stock to come down again, buy it cheap again, and sell it, when the price has gone up. So it's a pretty decent way to profit from shares. The other way you can make money from shares is you receive dividends. Dividends are periodic distributions made to shareholders from the profits of the company they own shares in. So as a part owner, you'll be entitled to receive these profit distributions as and when they're made. Dividends are at the discretion of the company, depending on management's objectives and goals for the company, or the direction they want to go in. But when they do pay them, you will receive your share of the dividend. So typically dividends are, they will issue a notice in the press, and on the company website itself. Such notices are also available on the ZSE and VFX websites. So you will, and even if your broker shares information regularly, you will also they'll also update you as to which companies have declared a dividend. If you are a shareholder in those companies, then you know you're going to receive something. Typically, they will declare the full amount of the dividend to say we're going to pay this and that amount in total out of the profits of the company, and then they will also narrow it down to exactly how much you're going to earn per share. So if the dividend is maybe 2 cents per share, uh, and you own 100 and you own 100 shares, then that means 200 cents, and it goes on like that. So that's how they will declare the dividends. When you receive your dividend, you've lost nothing. You still have your shares. You are just getting a share of the profits of the company that you have shares in. So you still have all your shares, which is different from maybe if you sold your shares, where um, you no longer have the shares. The ZSC currently has 37 actively trading companies, which investors can buy shares in, while the VFX has 13. Examples of ZSC listed companies, which you might have heard of, are Delta, Econet, AFDIS, so Dairy Board, and First Mutual. So these are the companies that trade exclusively in. So if you had your Zimbabwe Gold money and you wanted to buy shares in that currency, some of the companies you can put your money in are Delta, Econet, AFDIS, Dairy Board, and First Mutual. This list is by no means exhaustive. There are, like I said, there are 37 actively listed counters on that exchange. So you can pretty much put that money into any one of those. But these are just household names that I believe a lot of us here are familiar with. Examples on the VFX of listed companies that are also household names are Insco. I'm sure we all know Insco, Simbisa, Chicken Inn, Rocco Mamas, Steers, all of those, Nando's, they all fall under the Simbisa umbrella of companies. And then there's African Sun, which is a pretty dominant hospitality concern in our markets. So we move on. So now I'm just gonna, yeah. So we're talking about stocks. So these are the stocks that you can. This is the definition of stocks, and how you can make money from stocks. And if you did decide to buy into shares, as I mentioned, Zimbabwe Gold, ZSC, there's 37 companies there. If it's USD that you want to invest in shares, there's 13 counters you can potentially invest in. Um,
Hello, talent. We have lost you there. Hello, talent. Can you hear me?
Again, I'm sorry about that. I think you lost me again, didn't you?
Yes, we did, but I think you can go on the exchange traded funds.
Okay. Okay. So ETFs are just a collection of investments or fund which trades on an exchange. So the ETF itself will be listed, the fund itself. When you invest in an ETF, you're essentially buying into a fund that holds multiple underlying assets. And in this case, it'll be shares, because those are the ETFs that we have that are actively trading. So that is to say, within a single fund that you can buy on an exchange, it's listed on its own as a fund. Within that single fund will be a collection of shares. those shares of companies that are also listed. So within a single fund, you'll have shares of maybe Hippo, Delta, Seedco, all of those. They'll be part of that fund, and you can just buy, like a single purchase into that fund, which will give you exposure to which whatever shares they have, whatever collection of shares they have in that fund. This fund can be bought and sold on our exchanges, much like you would an individual share. The main advantage of investing in ETFs is that it's an easy way to diversify one's portfolio, as you only have to buy into a single ETF to get exposure to a basket of shares in companies that are also listed on our exchanges. So instead of individually picking companies to diversify your portfolio, companies to invest in to diversify your portfolio, you can just buy into the fund, and then the fund will be balanced out in such a way that it's properly diversified. Currently, ETFs are only available on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, and we have 4 of them. And then we move on to real estate investment trusts. These are funds or firms that own, manage, trade, and or finance income-producing real estate across a wide range of property sectors. When you invest in a REIT unit, so when it comes to ETFs and REITs, they're no longer called shares, they're called units. If you buy one, you've bought one ETF unit or REIT unit. When you invest in a REIT unit, you hold a fractional interest in the fund's underlying portfolio of income-generating real estate, such as shopping malls, offices, hotels, and industrial properties. So when we talk of REITs, we're talking about a company that either owns, manages, trades, or finances, or maybe they have a shopping mall there, they have an office block there, an industrial building there. They're making money from either rentals, which they collect from their tenants who occupy those properties, or they can make the money from selling those properties, from buying, developing, and selling those properties. So when you are a holder of REIT units, it means you also have a share in all of that income that they are generating from either running those properties as rental properties, or from or you can enjoy a share in the profits of when they dispose of the profits. Much like owning shares, the money is mainly in capital gains, which is you can buy a REIT unit today. Let's say you bought it at 1 ZiG, and then, like I said, even for shares, in 12 months, it's trading maybe at 1 ZiG 50 or 2 ZiG. You can actually just then sell your ZiG, your REIT units, and take your profit. Or you can hold on to your REIT units and enjoy dividend distributions, the periodic dividend distributions that they do to unit holders. On our local exchanges, we have 2 REITs, which are listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. And then contracts for difference, as I mentioned, these will be touched on later in the discussion by another speaker. But it's another asset class you can invest in on our exchanges. Currently, CFDs are only available on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. So how can you participate in all this action and all this exciting business of investing? How can you get involved? How do you invest on the ZSC and the VFX? In order to commence your investment journey, you simply need to take the following step. The very first step is opening a trading account. You need to open an account with any of the market's registered stockbroking firms. Currently, we have 23 registered firms. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm a stockbroker myself with Linton Edwards Stockbrokers. Opening an account is easy, very easy. You simply need to complete account opening forms and submit them together with the following attachments: a certified copy of your ID, proof of residence and the passport size picture of yourself. So I'm going to expand on the proof of residence. So when you talk of proof of residence, it can be a utility bill uh, that is in your name, but a lot of us might not have that. So other alternatives are a letter from your employer. If your employer can write a letter, stamp it, and confirm your residence, that works. Um, or that very first page of your bank statement, the one that shows your name and your address and everything, the very first page when you request your bank statement from the bank, where there's your name, your address, and everything. If they just stamp that page confirming, because if the bank accepts it, then we accept it. So if they confirm that, if they can stamp it, you can also submit that as proof of residence. Um, your proof of residence must not be older than 3 months. So we're in Feb now, so your proof of residence cannot be from right from Jan, December, November. So it cannot be from October last year. It must be within the 3 month range to the date of submission. Uh, and then I'm going to expand again on passport size pictures. It, it might not be so simple for you to get a passport size picture. So what we require, what we can accept is a selfie headshot from your phone, just a headshot, nothing else, no poses, no filters, no, you know, nothing, just a direct, you know, to your face selfie, clearly showing your face. That is adequate. We can accept that. You can then print that, scan that, or you can even send it to us electronically. We'll accept that is a picture of you, because what we need is to be able to identify you. Once you have submitted your completed forms and these few items, your account will be opened and you can start investing within at least 24 hours. So let's say you had submitted all of these things, your account opening form, you've completed your account opening form, you have your certified copy of ID, proof of residence, and a picture of yourself. You submit them to your broker. They will open your account. Let's say they open the account today. The account will be ready to trade tomorrow morning. So yeah, within about 24 hours, depending on how quickly the process has gone and how quickly you've made your submissions. Um, So the next step after your account is ready, your account is now active, it's ready, you have your also like just to expand on this, when you open an account, you will be issued with what is known as a CSD number. So this is your central depository, central securities depository number. It's like an account number, but with the depositories. Your stockbroker does not keep your shares. Your shares are maintained in electronic form with the depository. So there's actually a separation between the trading part, which is what the stockbroker does for you, and then the custody of your shares. So we don't keep your shares. The shares are kept by an independent custodian, uh, which is the depository. Uh, this is obviously done to protect you as the investors. So once you open your account, you'll be issued with what is known as a CSD. That's your account number with the depository, and then once you have all of that set up, uh, all of that is set up on account opening. So when you open your account, it's one submission, but then it results in the opening of your trading account with your broker, as well as your accounts with the depositories. So you don't really need to worry much about that. That is all done by your broker as soon as you submit your account opening forms. They will do all of that account opening for you and then advise you that your account is now ready. These are your CST, your EDS numbers. You can independently go to the depository to confirm your holdings if maybe you know. So it's like I said, there's a separation between the trading and the custody. So once your account is active and ready, the next step is to give your broker of choice. So you have to pick a broker from the 23. It's spoiled for choice. You have to pick a broker. Once you've opened your account with your broker, the next step is to give them instructions on what to invest your money in. So now we want to start trading. You give your broker instructions. How do you give them instructions? You can email them, you can call them, you can WhatsApp them, you can text them. But normally, even if you use any of the other three, which is WhatsApp, calling, and texting, will then insist on an email, just just so that there's a trail, of the instruction. So you give us an instruction. Hi, talent. Uh, I want to buy shares in Insco, or Simbisa, or Axia, or whichever counter that you want to buy in. I want to buy shares, and how much is that counter trading at? I advise you, and then we can proceed to buy for you. But please note that you will be required to pre-fund your account before any purchases are made, because in any trade that happens on these exchanges, there is both a buyer and a seller. The buyer wants the shares, the seller wants their money. So if we buy shares for you without you pre-funding your account, it means, and then you fail for whatever reason to provide the cash for those shares, the seller is not going to get their money. So the seller is not going to be happy about that. So in fact, it's actually it's a requirement that you pre-fund your account. Pre-funding is whatever amount of money that you want to invest. So, assuming you wanted to buy shares worth $2,000, you have to deposit that $2,000, and then we will buy the shares for you. You have to deposit that $2,000 first, and then we'll buy the shares for you worth $2,000. Um, that's when it comes to buying. You have to pre-fund. Selling your shares or your assets, whatever it is that you're invested in, is also as simple as just providing an instruction to your broker to sell for you. So you're calling, you're emailing, you are texting. Please sell my shares. I have this urgent need for cash. I need to, or I've made my money. I want to realize my profit. So please sell the shares, um, and deposit the funds to my account. You just, but like I said, you need to then send an email to follow through with that instruction so that there's a trail, because it would be, we would hate for a situation where you provide an instruction verbally, we sell for you, and then you come back 6 months later and you say, but I never asked you to sell these shares. Where do you sell the shares? You get what I'm saying? So it's as simple as just providing an instruction to your broker, and then they'll sell the shares for you, depending on obviously availability of buyers. Uh, Buying also is dependent on availability of sellers. Um, so if, sometimes you can request that we buy shares for you, but maybe those shares are not really available at that time, or so it might take a little bit of time. Selling might also take a little bit of time, depending on, it's just like with anything that you buy and sell in life. Um, you can sell quicker if there's a big demand for it, or you can buy quicker if there's a huge supply of it. So that's the same thing. Normally, we will request that you specify price limits when you provide your instructions. Price limits are simply to say, if we're going to sell for you, you have to specify a minimum price. Let's say you wanted to sell your I'm sorry, I'm just going to be using Yesco because it's just the counter that keeps popping in. I'm in no way biased. It just keeps popping in the head. Let's say, fine, you wanted to sell your first capital shares. Uh, you can specify a limit to say, please, I want to sell first capital shares, but do not sell them below 4 cents. Right? So now we know that we're going to look for buyers for you, but if the buyers are bidding below 4 cents, we're not going to sell. We can only sell 4 cents or higher. Conversely, if we're buying for you, you need to specify a limit which specifies the maximum price you're willing to pay for that stock or that asset. So let's say you want to buy First Capital again, which is the former Barclays Bank. Um, you can say, please buy me First Capital shares, but do not go beyond 3.5 cents. So now we know if there are sellers available at 4 cents, we're not going to buy for you at 4 cents. We're going to wait until there are sellers available at 3.5 cents or below. But our natural default is to always look for the best price for our investors. So even if you say uh, my limit when buying is 3.5 cents, we will look for a lower price for you if we can. Uh, so we will try and buy for you at 3 cents. We try and buy for you at 3.2 cents. Similarly, if you say my maximum selling price, and I mean my minimum selling price is 4 cents, we will try and get you a higher price so that you maximize your profit. Because when you make money, we make money. So that you maximize your profit and you minimize your losses. So that is what happens when after you've given the instruction, um, and then everything that I've been talking about now is us actually trading for you. That is known as trade execution. So after trade execution, that is after we've bought or sold for you, you will receive a broker's note from your broker to confirm the deal. This will serve as your proof that the deal was done. A broker's note is simply a summary of the transaction that would have done for you. So it'll have your name at the top, the name of the broker, the number of shares that we've bought or sold, the price at which we bought or sold, the total consideration, the total value of the deal. Um, so we'll send that. It's like, and then there's a breakdown of all of the related uh, transaction charges pertaining to that deal. I shall get into transaction charges a little bit later, if not on the next slide. So after trade execution, your confirmation, your receipt or your invoice is the broker's note. Then you can keep that for your records. But periodically, uh, we like maybe monthly or so, we'll send you statements of how you have transacted in that month, so that you have adequate records of how everything is moving. We'll also send you a report of your portfolio, how many shares you have, what the closing price for that month for that share was. So what is the value, approximate value of your of your portfolio is. Uh, we try to do that so that our records are always in agreement, your personal records and our records. And if there are any exceptions, you can then advise, and then we can investigate and rectify. Uh, the So that's the broker's note. The next step, after we have executed the trade, you have received your broker's note. You now know that your shares were sold. You now know that your shares were bought. All right. The next step is trade settlement. Trade settlement is the process of transferring securities into the account of the buyer and cash into the seller's account. As I mentioned earlier, every transaction has a buyer and a seller. So the seller is expecting their cash, the buyer is expecting their securities. So that transfer process now, moving the shares or the securities from the seller to the buyer and moving the cash from the buyer to the seller, it takes 4 business days. So, for example, if you buy shares on a Monday, next week Monday, your shares would reflect in your portfolio on the Thursday of that week. Similarly, if you sold shares on the same Monday, let's say you were the seller in that transaction, your funds will reflect in your account on Thursday. And then now to transaction charges, which is also my last contribution to this discussion. Trading fees are transaction costs that will be levied on trading and are a percentage of the value of the trade. These include the dealer's commission, which is the commission that we make from your trade as a broker, VAT, value added tax, CST levy for the depository, stamp duty, which only applies to purchase transactions, the ZSE and VFEX exchange levies. These are for the stock exchanges. So these are levied on every trade. SEC levy for the regulator, and IPF levy for the investor protection fund, which is for your protection in the event of a trade going wrong. So typically when buying equities on the ZSE, the total of these charges, so all of those transaction charges that I've just listed, the total of them, all of them in total added together, will amount to about 1.693 of the value of the trade, 1.693% of the value of the trade, which means if you did $100 trade, 100 ZIG trade, the total of your charges would be less than 2 ZIG, which is about one ZIG 70. So it's not really much. And then if and then this is for the total of these charges will amount to 1.69 if you're buying, and then it will be 2.443% of the gross value of the trade when selling. Selling is a bit more expensive on the ZSC because selling shares on the ZSC incurs capital gains withholding tax charge of 1%. I mean, you got to feed the taxman, right? So that's how it is that's the cost structure on the ZSC. And then when buying equities on the VFX, total transaction charges will amount to 1.187%. So he did 100 USD trade on the VFX. It will be less than $1.20 to buy shares worth $100. Small money. And then if you sold shares on the VFX, it's even cheaper. It's less than $1 to sell. If you did $100 trade, if you sold shares worth $100 on the VFX, so it's like 0.937%. Because when you're selling on the VFX, there is no capital gains withholding tax. So as you can see, transaction costs are pretty negligible on both exchanges. You won't feel them, you won't even notice them. So they're not, it's just good to keep them in mind, but it's not something that you will even be, considering in your investment decisions. And then, so this brings me to the end of my discussion. My contribution to this discussion. I think the only other two things I wanted to highlight are that opening an account with a stockbroker is free. We do not charge you to open an account. We do not charge you to maintain an account. So you can pretty much decide to open your account today, get it set up, and then if you're not yet ready to trade, your account will just be there. The day when you have your money ready, you can then just come and say, hey, I'm now ready to trade. That actually helps you, that actually cuts the time. Instead of then deciding I want to invest now, and then now we have to start doing all of that account opening and whatever, you can actually just do it anytime, and then just have your account open and ready and active with a stockbroker of your choice. Maintaining an account is also free, which means you can buy your shares today and you can keep them for as long as you want. We're not going to charge you for keeping your shares. We only charge you when you transact. That's where we get our commission. So we have, I guess that's where the whole issue with so that's it. We don't charge you for that. And then when it comes to information, you can get information from anyone, ZSE website. Your broker will share information. You want to invest, you want to know what to buy, what works, what can make you money. You can just You can get that information from your broker, from the ZSE website, from the company websites, the individual companies that you want to invest in. You can also get it from the press. Okay, anyway, I'm getting a signal here that I've been talking too much. So with that, I thank you all for giving me your time, and hope to see you guys bringing your money and investing. My name is Talent Chataika once again. I work for Linton Edward Stockbrokers. I suppose our facilitators can share the details as to how you can get in touch after the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Talent, for such a packed presentation. I'm sure there's nothing for me to add or subtract from that. Um, Moving on to our next presenter, I think from what Talent presented on, he talked about how you can start trading directly through your stockbroker by opening an account with them. But you can also do that through our digital platforms that we have created to try and make the process easier to access the exchange in the comfort of your homes and your offices. So you can do this through our mobile platforms, one of which is going to be presented right away by Rumbitsa Munyavi, who is part of the New Ventures team with the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange and the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange, and they are responsible for the mobile platform VFEX Direct. So before we go to Rumbi, I can see Lori and your hand is up. May you please post if it's a question or if you need any clarification, may you please post that in the chat box and we will attend to it at the end of all the remaining presentations. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Apologies for my voice. It's a little bit shaky, but I hope you can hear me. Thank you, Medjuri. Thank you, Talent, for the presentation. So I'm just going to do a rundown of my presentation of how you can register on the VFEX Direct platform and how you can trade. So bear with me as I share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a rundown of the presentation since Talent spoke about most of the things. So the introduction, the background of this VFEX Direct. So the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange is committed to promoting and deepening the Zimbabwean capital markets through development of products and services that provide value to all stakeholders. So the solution that the VFEX came up with was to the solution for financial inclusion that VFX came up with was to create the VFX Direct platform, which was launched on the 2nd of September in 2022. And the functionality of this VFX Direct, it provides retail investors with a smart way to manage their VFX investments online and to buy direct access of shares and securities listed remotely. And for accessibility of this VFEX Direct platform is through the web portal, which is on the presentation, which is www.vfexdirect.exchange. And also you can download the application on our Google Play Store as well as the Apple Store. So the VFX Direct has 5 main features, which is my portfolio. So the portfolio, this is a feature that allows an investor to view all their holdings under their portfolio. It also shows the securities in one's depository account, which is the EDS, as well as the portfolio valuation. So your portfolio valuation is basically the price of the certain counter that you hold times the number of shares that it has. And then the second feature is the market statistics. So the latest market statistics, including the market snapshot and the price sheet to help an investor track the market performance. So basically, the market statistics includes the bids and the offers that are on the current counter that is being sold. And then also the other feature is it is a user-friendly interface. The platform is very easy to use for a first-time investor. Also, the lot size. The platform allows an investor to place orders of any lot size with a minimum initial investment of $10. So the lot size is basically you can buy your shares from as little as 1 to infinity. And the minimum investment price is $10. And then there's also what's called a market depth feature. This I'm going to show you what it is on the system demonstration, but basically the market depth feature shows the 10 best orders for both the buy and the sell, which are already existing in the order book. Moving on to the next slide. So how to get started. So these are the basic requirements that we need for you to have a VFEX Direct account. So you must be at least 18 years of age to be considered eligible. You must have a national ID or a valid passport. So this is only available for residents in Zimbabwe at the current moment. But also we need to take note that a driver's license is not an acceptable proof of identity. So we need your ID or a valid passport. And then the third thing that we need is proof of residence. The talent was talking about as well. So the proof of residence is either the utility bill with your name. If it doesn't have your name, you need to get an affidavit signed by the owner of the utility bill. Also, you can get a letter from your employer stating the address. You can also use a lease agreement with your name as well. You can as well use a bank statement that has your full address and a stamp from the bank. The fourth item that we need is a valid email address and a phone number for you to activate your account. And then the fifth, you need a Nostro bank account with any commercial banks that are registered in Zimbabwe. So you cannot trade on the VFEX without a bank account that is registered in Zimbabwe. And then how to register. So these are the basic steps that you need when you're registering an account on VFEX Direct. So the registration process can only be done through the portal, which is the web portal, which is www.vfexdirect.vfex.exchange. And so you can visit that website, and when you visit the website, there is a tab that says start trading now. So you basically click that tab and then follow these steps that are on the screen. So the first step is you need to select your stockbroker. Talent mentioned about stockbrokers that we have 23 registered stockbrokers, but on the VFX Direct we have a limited number, so you can choose from the few stockbrokers that are registered on the VFX Direct. So after you select your stockbroker, you need to enter your personal details and create a password. After you create your password, you need to then verify your email. So how you verify your email, you go to your email address, you check in your inbox. If it's not the inbox, it's usually in the spam folder. You also check your spam folder or your junk to see if the email has come through. So once you have done this, that's when you need to put in the
Sorry, Rumbi, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now? Yes, we can hear you now. Okay, so let me reshare my screen and then continue the presentation. So you lost me for a bit there. Let me continue. So we're on the step number 4. Yes, on step number 4. So on step number 4, you log in and then you provide your proof of residency, your ID picture, your banking details, as well as a profile picture of yourself. Talent also mentioned the description of the profile picture. It either needs to be a passport size photo or a selfie from your phone that has no filters. And then the next step, you click on submit. Your application process will be done within 48 hours. 48 hours meaning we're going to exclude the weekends. After you're done and the EDS number is created, you then need to proceed to fund your account. So on the VFEX, you can fund your account through Zipit, which is the bank to bank, or you can do it through Inbox. And this is a pre-funded model as well. You cannot trade on the VFEX Direct without funding your account first. So right now I'm going to be doing the system demonstration on how you can top up your account, how you can buy your shares, and how you can sell them. Okay, I'm sure you can all see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you, Major, for the confirmation. So I'm just going to log out and log in first. So this is the landing page for the VFX Direct. So this means that you get to this page after you have already created your account. So I'm going to be using this account to demonstrate on all the features I was talking about. So on the features, this is the first page that you can see here is the My Portfolio feature. It shows that this specific client has Bindura, they have Edgar's, and then they have Insco as well. This is the first feature that I was talking about. And then the other feature here is the dashboard. So the dashboard now, it shows the ticker that is at the top here, and then it shows the status of the market. So right now the market is open. And the other feature is you can see your profile, you can view your profile. So the client's profile here, it shows the EDS account, the broker, the nationality, the email address, the date of birth. And then below here, that's where the banking details are and the work details as well. So when you want to now credit your account, you go at the top where there's dashboard. The next tab says my wallet. You click on my wallet. So on my wallet now, you can as well view your statement. You can view the tradable funds, the held funds, and then the total funds. So currently in this account, there are no funds. So when you want to top up now, you either choose whether you want to top up with your bank or you want to use Inbox. So you can click on your bank top up. So automatically, the banking details that you would have used to create your account are the ones that are going to be populated on this page. So here, you just need to put in the amount. For example, we're going to top up $100. So you put in 100 as the amount. So I'm not going to top up because this is live. So after you have put in your amount, you then top up link, and then after you top up, you go to your bank and then do the transfer. After you do the transfer, you then upload the proof of payment on your portal, and then we can see it from the VFX side, and then we can then deposit the funds directly into your account. And then you go back. If you're using Inbox, you go on Inbox top up. After you go on Inbox, so already you would have linked your Inbox to the VFX Direct, so it's going to show your details as well. And then you on the amount, you also put in the amount that you want. You submit. After you submit, you go to your Inbox. You follow the steps that you'll be given on the VFX Direct. You go to your Inbox. You put in all the details. You should make sure that the amount that you put on the VFX Direct matches the amount that you're actually going to top up from your Inbox. And then after you're done, you come back to the VFX. There's an action bar here. So on the action bar, then click the refresh page so that your funds can be credited into your account instantly. So Inbox is instant, but when you're using the bank, it takes about 48 hours for the funds to reflect into your account. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the buy order. So when you want to buy, this is the tab where you want to buy. So the next feature here is the market dip, which will appear here after you select the specific counter that you want to buy. So these are all the listed counters that we have on the VFEX. So for example, we're going to select African Sun. So automatically, when you select African Sun, the market dip is going to come out showing the bid price, the bid volume, the ask price, and the ask volume. So when you are putting in your shares, your volume and the price, this is going to be your guide to see where on what you're supposed to buy and sell. So for example, the volume, we put in 100 as a volume. And then when you come here, where it says price range, this is the price range that you're going to use for the shares that you want to buy. So for example, we're going to put 0.04. So you can also be guided with the market dip on which price you can put in so that your order matches. So this shows now the total cost before the charges. So there are charges, of course, when you want to buy. So in this instance, we're going to place this order. So what happens now is when your account is funded, there's going to be a confirm tab instead of fund wallet. So right now our account does not have any existing funds. So we just need to confirm your volume here. The symbol is African Sun. The volume is 100. The bid price is 0.04. The charges are $1.04, coming to a total cost of $5.04. So your wallet balance should come up here. It should populate here when you do have funds in your account. So this is how you can buy your shares. So it's the same for all the counters that are here. So if we select Sidco International, these are the bid prices as well. You select Simbise brands. This is the market depth as well, and all the orders that are in the system. And then for the sell order, please note that you can only sell holdings that you actually have in your account. So in this instance, we only have Insco, we have Edgar's, and we have Bindura. So for example, we want to sell your Insco shares. So we have 6. So if you want to sell less than 6, you just put in, but you can't sell more than 6. So in this instance, we want to sell this 6. We're going to select the same. Yeah, on bid price, bid volume, you're going to select the amounts that's in the price range. So after you select the amount in the price range, you then go on to place your order and then you confirm your order. So we're going to be using a price of 0.446. So the total cost here before deductions is $2.76. Then you go on to place order. So right now the confirm comes in because you do not have to have funds in your account for you to sell. I'm sorry. So here, if you just confirm your order, it then goes to the market depth as well. If it has any similar orders, it then goes on to match, making it a trade. So this is how you can sell your shares on the VFX platform, and this is how you can buy as well. So also on the dashboard, this is what the market snapshot is all about. So the market snapshot shows the companies, the year high, the year low. So for the opening prices, closing prices, price change, and percentage change only show when the market is closed. So when the market is currently trading, we cannot have an opening price, we cannot have a closing price. So when the market closes now, that's when this page is populated. So for this page, you can set a certain counter that you want. You can also download if you want market data, you can also download from this page. So I think I am done with my presentation. If you have any questions, you can also put in the chat box as well. Thank you so much. Meju, back to you.
Thank you, Rumbizai, for the demonstration. I hope the audience was following, and if there is need for any further engagements, we will share the details of the presenters at the end of this session. So racing with our time, I will invite our last presenter of the day, Michael Muhamba, who's part of the trading team with the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange and also handles the trading on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. But he's going to be demonstrating on CFDs trading. He has experience in that. So he's going to demonstrate to you how you can start your investment journey in contracts for differences. So over to you, Mike.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Confirm you can hear me.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, just like Major said, my name is Michael Mwamba, and I'm with the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange in the trading department. So I'm going to present to you on contracts for differences, and also the difference between trading contracts for differences on the platform called MetaTrader 5 and VFX Direct. So let me just share my presentation. Confirm you can see my presentation.
Yes, Mike, we can see it.
Okay. So I'm going to present on how to trade CFDs on MT5 and comparison with VFX Direct. So the objective of the presentation, the first one I've already mentioned, and I'm also going to look at the opportunities and risks involved, and the comparison between CFD trading on MT5 with VFX Direct investing. So what is CFD trading? CFD, which is short for contract for difference, is a financial derivative that allows traders to speculate on asset price movements without owning the underlying asset. So what this basically means is that when you are trading a contract for differences, you are not actually buying the underlying asset, but you are speculating on price movements, whether the price is going to go up or down, right? And then traders can profit from both rising and falling markets by going long, that is buying, or short, that is selling. So you can make a profit when you anticipate that the price of the currency pair is going to go up. So you have to go into a long position, which is to buy, or you can also make a profit when the price of the currency pair goes down, which you do when you sell. And CFDs are available for stocks, for forex, for indices, commodities, and cryptocurrencies. So, like I said, you are speculating on the movement of the price, whether it's going to go up or down. So, when you're trading CFDs, you are not actually going to own the commodity in the you're not actually going to own the commodity or the cryptocurrency, but you're only just going to make a profit on whether the price of that commodity goes up or down. So what is MT5? MetaTrader 5, MT5 is a powerful trading platform for CFD and Forex trading. It offers advanced charting tools, technical indicators, and some automation tools, and it's available on desktop, web, and mobile. So at the moment, we have what is called MT4 and MT5, but I'm going to talk about MT5 because this is the platform that the licensed broker that we have on Victoria Falls Stock Exchange that trades Forex. That is the platform that the broker uses. So I'm going to talk more on MT5 and not MT4. So setting up MT5 for CFD trading. So obviously you have to download and install MT5, and you can get MT5 from the official MetaQuartz website or from the VCG Markets, from VCG Markets website. So remember, VCG Markets is the VCG is the broker that is at the moment, that is licensed at the moment to offer forex trading. So you can get MT5 from their website, and you can install it on your PC or mobile. And then you have to open your trading account with the regulated broker, which is VCG Markets. So at the moment we have one regulated broker for contract for differences. So you have to choose VCG Markets. And then you also have to choose between a demo account, which is a practice account, or a live account. So the demo account will give you, it's not really real money that you'll be using for trading. So you can use that to practice. And then the live account, this is the account that you're actually going to put in your initial margin so that you can actually start trading the markets. So third step is to fund your account. So you deposit your money using bank transfer or a credit card. And the leverage available is 1:100. So I'll go deeper into what leverage is and what it means when we say leverage is 1:100. So how to place a CFD trade on MT5? So the first thing that you need to do is you need to select an asset, which is forex, stocks, indices, commodities, or cryptocurrency. And you also need to analyze the market. And there are so many ways that you can analyze the market. You can use technical analysis. This is whereby you are using indicators, you are looking at trends, you are looking at candlestick patterns. You can also use some fundamental analysis where you are going to look at the news and how it's going to impact exchange rates. You can also look at earnings and reports. So these are some of the ways that you can use to analyze the market. And the third step is to open a trade. That is, you're going to enter into a long position if you expect the price is going to rise, and you're also going to enter into a short position if you expect the price to fall. So I'm just going to do a demonstration of how you do all this on the MT5 platform. So just bear with me so that I can go onto the MT5 platform. Yeah, confirm you can see that I'm on the MT5 platform.
Yes, Michael, we can see. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, so this is the platform that that people use if they want to trade forex with VCG markets. So it says you can see on the far left these are my currency pairs. So here I have Aussie USD, I have the Euro USD, Pound USD, and the New Zealand versus dollar, USD CAD. So these are the currency pairs that I choose. So right now, as you can see, I am on the Euro USD chart. And this is actually what is happening in the market. This is how the exchange rates are moving in real time in the market. So on this platform, if I want to enter a trade, of course, I'm going to look at a lot of things. Like I said, you can look at fundamental analysis, you can use technical analysis. But here, I'm not going to try to use fundamental analysis, but I can look at some of the tools that I have on the interface. So if you can see, you can select these tools here. These are the tools that you can use to draw a trend line, for example, which is one of the ways that a lot of people use if they want to do technical analysis. And then you can decide whether you want to enter into a long position or a short position with the technical tools that you have. So here, if you go on new order, right here, if you go on new order, it's going to show you that you are going to enter into a trade for euro versus US dollar. And then it's going to give you the type of execution that you have. So if you click here, you're going to see the type of execution is either market execution or pending or a pending order. So a pending order here is similar to a limit order that you place on VFX Direct. So here I can select market execution, and then I can leave the volume 1. Right here, I don't want to put a stop loss. I can just leave it like that. And then I can choose now whether I want to sell the market or I want to buy the market, right? So if you see here, the top left corner, you see where it's written bid and you see where it's written ask. So this is the spread that you have. So this is the spread that the broker that you are using collects whenever you enter into a trade. So that difference, the ask and the bid, is the spread that goes to the broker. That is the cost that you incur when you enter into a forex trade. So here I'm just going to just place an order, and let's say I'll just say buy by market. See, I've already entered into the market by placing a buy order. So that's the way that you enter a trade. Because I'm speculating that maybe price is going to go up from the point that it is at the moment. So let me go back to my presentation. But if you have questions, you can ask when I'm done. Okay, confirm you can see my presentation.
Yes, you can see
Yes,
it.
yes. Understand.
Okay. So how to place a trade, set stop loss and take profit, and then you monitor and close the trade. So here I now want to go into the risk management in CFD trading. So there's something that you need to know is that the leverage that I talked about, which is 1:200, the leverage amplifies gains and losses. So you need to use it carefully. I think on my next slide, I'm going to talk about leverage and explain what it is. But leverage amplifies gains and losses, so you need to use it carefully. And for your risk management, you also need to use stop loss orders to minimize risks. Basically, stop loss orders. This is where you place a pending order that says if price goes to that price and it's going in the opposite direction that you want it to go, then the broker can get you out of the market. So that is a stop loss order. And you also need to avoid over trading. Over trading in CFDs can cause a lot of emotional damage, which can lead to you losing a lot of money. So you need to stick to your trading plan and have certain strategies that you have for trading. And you also need to keep emotions in check. You don't need to trade based on fear or greed, because the forex market is a very risky market. So you always have to follow your trading plan and keep your emotions in check. So what do I mean by trading with 1:100 leverage? So suppose you want to trade 100,000 in forex markets with 1:100 leverage. You then only need to deposit 1% of that as your initial margin with the broker. So that means, let's say I want to trade 100,000 worth of forex. I will have to I don't have to deposit 100,000 into my account. I only have to deposit $1,000 with my broker, and the broker will lend me the other 99,000. So that's what it means when we say you are leveraged 1:100. So the problem with this is that it can go in your favor and it can also lead to some losses, because it amplifies your losses. So I'll go in the pros and cons. So the pros with leverage, it increases buying power, trade bigger positions with less capital, and there's potential for high profits, because small price movements can result in significant gains. And then you can also go into the cons. There's a lot of risk with CFD trading. Losses are amplified because of leverage, meaning you can lose your entire margin very quickly. There are also margin calls. So margin calls, basically, if the trade goes against you, your broker may require you to add more funds or close the position, because you are making losses, right? These are the pros and cons of leverage. So it can go in your favor, or it can lead you to making a lot of losses. So I'm going to go through the key differences between MT5 CFD trading and VFX Direct, which Rumbidzai presented on. So the first thing is on ownership. So with CFD trading, there is no ownership of the asset. It's only speculation. But with VFX Direct, you actually own the actual shares, right? And the second difference is on market access. So with CFD trading, you have you are trading global markets, that is forex, stocks, indices, commodities, and cryptocurrency. And on VFX Direct, you're only limited to the local stocks that are listed on the on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. And the trading style with CFD trading, it's more of short-term trading where you are scalping, you are day trading or swing trading. So what I mean by scalping is you can enter the market and then the next 5 seconds you are already out of the market. So that is scalping. And day trading is where you are actually trading for that particular day. So you can enter a trade that can last for 24 hours. And then swing trading is whereby you are actually putting a trade and probably closing it after 3 months or something like that. So that's swing trading. So on VFX Direct, it's more on the long-term investing, because you want the company that you're investing in to appreciate in value, and you want the price to appreciate so that you can capitalize on the capital gains or harvest some dividends. And then the leverage on CFD trading, the leverage is 1:100, and on VFX Direct with shares, there is no leverage. You are not going to borrow money from the broker with VFX Direct, but on MetaTrader 5, which is CFDs, you can borrow money from the broker and use it to trade higher positions. Profit potential is another difference. Profits from price movements up and down. So with CFD trading, you can also make a profit when the price goes down. And then with VFX Direct at the moment, you only profit from stock appreciation and dividends because there is no short selling at the moment on the VFX. And the risk level is another difference. CFD trading has high risk due to leverage. And then with VFX Direct, there's lower risk and long-term stability because you are trading in actual shares of a company. And then trading hours. So the forex market is open 24/5. That means 24 hours Monday to Friday, both forex and indices. And then the VFX on VFX Direct, you are only limited to VFX market hours, which run from 9:30 to 1 from Monday to Friday. So these are the main differences between MT5 CFD trading and VFX Direct. So this is the end of my presentation, and I'll leave the floor to Marjorie.
Thank you, Mike, for an insightful presentation on CFDs trading. I hope the audience was following, and if there are further questions, we are also going to share the details of the presenters and the relevant people that you can ask further questions. I think let's take a look at the few questions that are on the chat box. So our first question is coming from, just hold on. It's coming from Lorien Magaramombe. Lorien is asking, I think this is directed to Talent. You highlighted the total cost of buying shares include VAT. So I don't understand how the total percentages are ranging from 2% to 3% when the rate of VAT is currently at 15%. So I think they just need clarification on how the total cost is getting to around 2-3% when VAT is 15%.
Okay, so the VAT charge that I mentioned is on the commission that we make as the broker. So it is 15% as you rightly mentioned, but it's 15% of our brokerage. So if our brokerage in for example, it's like 0.92% on the ZSC, the VAT charge would be 15% of that 0.92%. I don't know if that makes sense.
Lorien, I hope you, yes, we can hear you.
Well, it's not, yeah, it's a charge on our commission. if that follows.
Okay, I hope Lorian understood the calculation. So VAT is charged on the broker's commission. Like Talent said, if you were supposed to get 0.92% of your gross trade amount, the 15% will be 15% of 0.92%.
Yes.
So it will be significantly lower than the 0.92.
Yes.
Hence, the total charge is between 2 and 3%. So I hope, Lorian, you answered. Thank you so much, Talent, for your response. This next question is from Tapiwa Chiri. Tapiwa is asking, does the VFX offer any guarantee to protect retail investors for an unexpected life event? For example, in company going into bankruptcy, is there a percentage to ring fence losses, or we may be at the mercy of the company in question? So probably to answer Tapiwa, I think it depends how you got to be, how you are invested in this company. If you're invested as a shareholder, unfortunately, you run the risk of losing your investment if you are part of the company as a shareholder. But if you had invested in the company, probably in form of a debt instrument, a debt takes priority when the company is liquidating in terms of compensating when the company is declared bankruptcy. So yes, as a shareholder, it's a risk that you would have assumed when you have invested in such a company. So it's key for you, like Talent was saying, to also engage your broker. They have probably more knowledge than you. So when you're investing in these companies, make sure you're consulting with either your investment manager or your stockbroker, so that they point you in the right direction of which companies to invest in that have less chances of putting you in such situations. Then the next question is from Normal. Normal was asking, I already have a CSD account with a certain broker, but now I want to trade on ZSE Direct, but cannot find my broker. What could be the reason? So probably Rumbi, can you answer that? I'm seeing you had answered in the chat box, but probably for the benefit of the audience, those who had not read the response in the chat box, can you please explain why this client might not be able to find their broker on the platform?
Okay, thank you, Marjorie, for that. So the reason why you might not be able to find this certain broker on the ZSE Direct platform is because they would not have registered to be part of the ZSE Direct platform. So as much as you are a broker, you need to then also register for your clients to trade on ZSE Direct. But if you'd want to trade on ZSE Direct, you might select a different broker from the one that you already have, and then request for that certain broker to then transfer your shares from the already existing CSD to the new one with the broker on the platform. So the reason why is because the broker would not have pre-registered on the ZSE Direct platform. I'm not sure if you answered.
Thank you, Rumbi. I hope they are answered. Quickly moving with our time. I think we are past the time that we're supposed to end, but I think our last question is from Tapiwa Chiri, and it's directed to Mike. Tapiwa says, we spoke about trading, but with regards to MT5, what are the security features? He's asking in case probably his phone or the gadget that he uses to trade gets lost. And he's also asking about the security of the client data. So probably you can explain on that.
Okay. So the broker that you're going to be using is a regulated broker that is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission of Zimbabwe. So this broker is mandated to make sure that the data that it collects is not going to be used for purposes other than what it is intended for. And also on security features, with regards to actual trading, you with CFD trading, you just have to make sure that you look after your trade and you do proper risk management, because like I said, forex trading is very risky, and you need to make sure that you're always putting in stop loss orders, and just making sure that you are looking after the trade and you're not leveraging too much. But with regards to data, like I said, VCG Markets is a licensed broker that is regulated by both Victoria Falls Stock Exchange and Securities and Exchange Commission of Zimbabwe. So your data would be secure. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for your response. I hope Tapiwa is answered. The next one is from Godfrey, and Godfrey says, it's not a question per se, but a suggestion. I am suggesting that we can have a partnership in financial literacy education among our youths and women. Okay, so this is a suggestion by Godfrey to partner with the VFEX in financial literacy education run that they're doing. That's okay, Godfrey. I think we can engage outside of this meeting to see if our objectives are aligning, and it can be a possibility that we will partner in driving this mandate. I think the questions that were posted in the chat box have all been answered. I'm going to share the contact details, emails of all the presenters who presented today. So if you have any follow-up questions that you might then need to ask, you can get in touch with them through email. I will also share the contact details of the licensed broker for CFDs trading, VCG Markets, and the presentations that the presenter did today. I will also share with you. The video of this webinar is also going to be posted on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange YouTube channel. So if there are any things that you missed or you might want to replay and revisit so that you have a better understanding, you can then visit our YouTube channel to go through the webinar again. So thank you so much, everyone, for setting your time aside and attending this webinar. I hope it was insightful and educational. And thank you to the presenters for also taking your time to educate our audience. I hope you have a great day and enjoy the long weekend and holiday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matthew.